Round one, fight!
The Grim Reaper Gamers are a 25 and over gaming community with members spanning the globe, playing games across all genres, but our roots are in first-person shooters. Bring your thick skin, drink of choice, and grab your controllers. GRG members are on nightly with official community nights every Wednesday. And now, it's time for the ReaperCast. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Grim Reaper Gamers ReaperCast, and we are on episode number 68. We got a lot to talk about, so let's get around the horn without further ado. Number two spot, second chair, if you will. My intrepid co-host, I don't know what to expect from this guy week to week, except for that Expressions of Vader poster behind him every dang time. Jammer, how the hell are you? What you drinking, what you playing, and what are you going to do to me this week?
Wait, is this an adult podcast? Because that could change the whole subject. No, I got my thing for you in a second, but there's another adult reference right there. My thing for you.
Yeah.
What are we gonna do next episode when it's 69? We're all gonna like giggle like little kids.
I know. It's gonna go Beavis and Butthead, ain't it?
Yeah. So anyway, so I, some behind the scenes type of stuff for our two people that listen, that copy our shit at another website. So generally each week, after we do a show, I make an agenda for us, kind of a template, doesn't have a bunch of stuff on there. And then I share it and then we work on it over the 2 weeks. And I've just had a lot of shit going on, lately. So I have been fucking just busy. So I didn't do that this time. So John, my good friend, took care of that. And I got yelled at by Lala today because I hadn't looked at the agenda at all, and I hadn't checked on the agenda, and I haven't prepped, and I'm not doing any work for the podcast. And then lo and behold, when I get here tonight to do the show, I realized that the fucker that did the agenda didn't share it with me.
Yeah, I did.
No, you didn't.
It asked me to share it with the same people that I shared it with before. The only one that should have had to ask permission was Gunny.
So yep, I'm sitting there and I'm like, that son of a bitch. All the time I do it. The one time I let him do it, and he doesn't include me.
No, wait a minute, Jack. Were you able to edit the podcast, to edit the agenda?
I was able to.
My good friend Jack sent it to me.
Well, I put it up in the messages, the PM that we have.
See, last show, I promised you ahead of time I was going to be nice to you.
I'm getting yelled
angry.
at because you can't check your goddamn messages.
No, it wasn't.
Sounds like Xbox Insider all over again.
All right, I'm drinking an Oktoberfest and I'm playing Forza, and Johnny sucks at doing the agenda.
We need to start the Jammer Lies thread.
It's not a lie. You can look at my email. Moving on.
All right. Third chair, the grumpiest of all grumpkins, the head of GRG. Well, next to Grex. Jack, Lala Calamari, how the hell are you? What you drinking? What you playing?
Rex is a nobody. I'm booting him out tomorrow.
You are not. Really, you'll have to code the site yourself if you do.
I am drinking something fancy tonight. I have an I'm the Gang. I'll always pronounce this wrong. I'm the Gang beer, the Game of Thrones, and it's called Valor Goharius. I don't even know what the fuck it's called, but it's a Belgium-style triple, and it is fantastic. So I've been grabbing the Game of Thrones beers as they come out, and I had this one stockpiled, I think, for a while now. So I decided to crack it open.
All I have to say about your pronunciation of the beer is shame.
Yeah.
Ding, ding, ding.
I don't know. Yeah, it's pretty good. And right now I'm playing Destiny 2. I'm still in the Destiny 2 crack, unlike you haters. Iron Banners this week. Pretty excited. Also, Forza 7. Actually posted some pretty respectable times in the GRG time trials. So I was kind of impressed with myself. I did pretty well. And I tried to... the hell was that?
The same none. Now to throw him off.
Like last night with somebody, but that person couldn't cover my back and help me out. I'm not going to name names, Johnny, but Johnny sucks.
I have no idea why. Don't talk about Lone Wolf that way. He did fine.
I just want to know, does your right trigger work? I mean, seriously. So we get to this point. We're playing this game. I get killed. There's a guy. So when you die, you get to see what your other teammates see. So I'm in Johnny's screen viewing what Johnny sees, and I see the guy who killed me looting all my goodies 50 feet from him. Like, Johnny, shoot that fucker. Johnny, shoot that fucker. Shoot. Will you shoot him? I don't see anybody. I don't see anybody. Like, he's right in front of you.
Because I thought it was Lone Wolf. They had Lone Wolf's name above, but what I didn't know was they put his name above because he was past him dead.
I didn't see Lone Wolf's name anywhere near that screen. It
was there, but
right trigger
thrown off.
Anyway,
that interface.
So that's how I'm doing. I'm aggravated playing with Johnny in Fortnite.
Bitch when I don't play, you bitch when I do.
Yep. You can't win. There's no winning in GRG. Come on. There's no winning.
All right. And tonight we have a fourth chair. You may have heard him a little bit in the background. Direct from a workshop in Oregon, it looks like.
No. I just am concerned. I want to make sure. I'm not going to say who it is, but if at any point you have to go ring the cash register since you're working, apparently, just raise your hand so we know that you need to step away for a minute.
Fuck you.
Gunny, how the hell are you? What you drinking? What you playing?
Good.
We know what you're playing.
Well, I'm playing two. I'm
Okay.
just playing one more than the other. I'm drinking some Muling and some Coors, and I'm playing religiously Forza. And Destiny 2 is kind of if I feel like it. But I want to make a plug. I started a YouTube channel for the Glory Hole. I'm sponsored now. I'm sponsored, and they gave me these cool gaming glasses.
Nice.
And they only cost me $2.99 a piece. But I'm going to sell them to the clan for $4.99. And if you have Penny, we're good to go.
What about energy?
That's my plug.
Yeah, some energy mints. We need some energy mints.
They told me no.
As soon as he said
They didn't
plug
want the
with
Glory Hole smelling too good.
yeah, as soon as he said plug with the glory hole, I figured it was a butt plug. I didn't know what the hell he was plugging.
Oh, God.
You're welcome.
Okay, well, that'll be our show tonight.
Good show, everybody. We'll see you next week. All right, let's talk about clan events. As always, Wednesday nights are community nights. You can check out the full calendar at grimreapergamers.com/events. You know, it's mostly Destiny all the time. Got Forza in there a lot, too. People hitting that pretty hot and heavy. Not just Gunny with his fancy-ass glasses and his Coors.
About the Forza. Also, make sure to check the forums as well, because we're running a few different events for that. And lately we're running some time trials where Digital picks a car and a lap or a track, and everybody races. At the end of the week, we see who sucked and who doesn't. I firmly believe AP Mech cheats. Hacks.
Indeed.
He got those scores. I mean, I game with the guy. I think he games with his feet. I don't know. So I'm kind of surprised he got those times. So it's definitely cheating there. But so check the forums, and because we have other events sprinkled in there, just like looking for group stuff and the Forza time trials and whatnot.
By the way, forums are at forums.grimreapergamers.com. So, again, check the events page for any further stuff, but clan night or community night is Destiny and Forza and maybe a little bit of Fortnite Battle Royale sprinkled in there, at least till Call of Duty comes out. So, all right, Jack, you got a rant for us, buddy?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
And this is a pretty quick one. I'm going to bitch about it. Echoing in party chat pisses me the fuck off. So lately, this wasn't a problem in Xbox 360. For some reason, party chat worked fine, and we never had any echoes. But it's prolific in the Xbox One. I don't know what the problem is, whether it's the cheap-ass chat adapters or the cable not plugged all the way into the controller. But there'll be people that just have echo, and it fucks party chat up. You can't speak with this going on because it just throws you off. And my favorite part is when you tell them you're echoing, they get all offended. Like, seriously, like, why? Fix your shit. It's driving me goddamn bananas. It's so easy to show who's doing it. You turn on the party chat overlay, you can see who's echoing. But yeah, I don't know whether to blame the shitty hardware or the shitty software with Microsoft, but something's fucked up, and it's garbage for Xbox One, and it's driving me fucking mad. So that's my rant for this episode.
See, now on the other side of it now, it could be the potatoes, or it could be people that know this drives you crazy and purposely leave something a little bit unplugged so they could just drive you crazier.
Just leave that ear cup just a little off the ear.
Well, that drives me insane too. You just open the door for people to know an avenue to piss you off now.
There's so many. So I mean, really, it's
Avenue. That's more like a 50-lane highway.
Heck.
That's like the Autobahn.
Next time he's in a party chat, there's going to be 8 people all echoing.
Oh my goodness! I'll just stab myself in the ears with a nice pick.
Oh God. All right, let's get to news, and we got some gaming, some, I guess, nerd geek culture, whatever you want to call it. I guess we'll start with a little bit of nerd and geek culture here with a couple trailers that just dropped this week. A couple of mostly anticipated movies, one very anticipated, one semi-anticipated, maybe with some trepidation. Let's talk about that one first. Justice League dropped their final trailer before hitting theaters next month. Okay, first, you get the first look at Henry Cavill as Clark. And
wait, he's alive?
Well, of course he is, but they don't play it that way in the trailer. They play it as a dream sequence. So,
does he have his beard?
No beard, no stash,
beard.
no
Okay.
porn stash.
Porn stash.
Magnum Superman.
I'd pay that Superman. Magnum PI, give him nice, mullet and a big 80s Tom Selleck mustache.
Hawaiian shirt.
I think Superman would finally be almost as cool as Batman at that point.
I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, I want to be optimistic. I'm still very, very tentative on this movie.
Can I go?
Go.
Real quick. I think that the heroes in it, besides for Batman, they all look like ass. They all look shitty, terrible, retarded. Cyborg is probably one of my favorite DC comic book heroes. I used to read Teen Titans and all that stuff, and I always like Cyborg. I think he'd be a cool character, and I don't know what the fuck he looks like. He looks like a bad graphic from the original Xbox. He's terrible looking. Same with the Flash. I mean,
you look at the Flash. I hate that costume.
You look at the TV show, he looks 1,000 times better. Like this. So now you have the Flash here. He looks, and then Aquaman. Let's go to Aquaman. He's the most worthless, useless superhero ever. I'd rather see him with the orange and the green outfit over this super goth look he's got going here. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, here's what they did. Aqua Drago is what they did for Aquaman. It's Khal Drago.
I don't know. He's a pointless superhero, whatever. I don't care. And then finally, they show aliens. I'm assuming these are the leftover aliens from the Avengers movie. I don't know. We're going to see another alien attack. I don't know. I have zero interest in this. The trailer looked really terrible.
It's shocking that you have zero interest in a superhero movie.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty much done with comic superhero movies, but this one looked just really, really bad.
Well, out of the whole deal, I mean, I like the Superman costume. I like the Batman costume. Wonder Woman's is okay. Cyborg's is way too much like Cyborg Superman from the Death and Return. They went way too much like that. Way too much for that. Flash's costume is trash. Aquaman, they're completely. I mean, he's not even. I don't even know if you can call him Aquaman except for he swims. So they're trying to revamp him completely.
Well, Aquaman's always been stupid to me anyway.
Yeah,
he's just a level above the Wonder Twins. with the stupid idiot that can form a bucket of water.
Let's face it, the riffs that Robot Chicken does on Aquaman are great.
Don't you think like the Super Friends, like when the twins, and he was like, "I'll form a bucket of water." Don't you think like Batman and like Superman looked at each other like, "This fucking idiot! We don't need a fucking bucket of water."
Yeah, Janet got to be all this other shit, and Janet got to be all this shit, and Zan was like, "An ice cube."
Yeah.
Ting.
Every trailer I see is what everybody hated about Batman versus. Well, there was many things people hated about Batman versus Superman. For one thing, Superman even being in it, but there's just too much shit happening. It's like it's overload of shit. You know, it was the same thing in the Superman movie when he's battling Zod. It was the same thing in Batman versus Superman. It's just overload of effects. It's toning it down. It's cluttered. Exactly.
It's Snyder's earmark, a trilogy in one film. You know, he tries to put multiple films. What we determined? 4 different Superman stories mashed up in Man of Steel. I think, and 3 or 4 different stories in Batman versus Superman. So who knows how many Justice League's going to have? Well, you already got Return of Superman and the formation of the League. So yeah, there's 2. He tries. I mean, let's face it, the dude should be making miniseries.
For the Hallmark Channel.
Yeah.
So you know, as a big Superman fan, John, so then you're basically telling us it's another Superman movie you think's going to suck.
I don't know what to expect. I mean, I think they're. I mean, I want it to be good, but I'm not expecting it to be good.
Tedgen.
I'm not. I don't expect it to be good. I think he went the route that I figured he was going with Man of Steel, but the execution just isn't there. You know, start with a dark world and eventually optimism shows up, but he just doesn't know how to execute optimism.
The costume sucked.
I was just wondering how Gunny was going to feel about it because you know, now that he moved out west and now he's got like hippie hair and everything. I didn't know if your views have changed on the movies.
Well, I was kind of hoping maybe Wonder Woman might roll in and smoke it, you know, and just kind of show a real world aspect, but I got disappointed, so I'm over it. Thanks, by the way. I am not a hippie tonight.
I'm half and half if I'm going to see this one or not. We know Lala won't.
Oh, I definitely won't pay for it.
No. Cable.
Oh, I might go to it here at the discount theater here in town. That'd be the closest I'd come to paying for it.
Hold on.
What?
They have a discount theater?
You have more than one theater in?
Well, no. Our theater is a second run theater. I guess I should clarify. It's a second run, so it's like $10 to take the family.
So you all pop into the John Deere together. Like, is there like a hood if it's raining?
He's got the hay.
How far is it for you to go to like to see like a new release? Where's the closest one?
25 minutes away.
All right.
Right now in my
hometown. Pretty close by wagon.
Well, it's 25 minutes away, so that means it's like a mile. It's a mile away because the equipment moves so slow. It's not like he's driving a real car.
I got an F-150 for Christ's sake.
You may as well have a wagon.
All right, moving on. Next trailer. The other big one just dropped during Monday Night Football last night. It is Star Wars The Last Jedi, the first major trailer for the 8th installment in the Skywalker saga. This one I loved. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not even gonna try and hide it. I loved it.
Yeah, though they're setting things up, there is no way that Kylo Ren is holding his hand out to Rey.
No. I think the most telling line in the whole thing is when Luke says this is not going to go down the way you think it's going to go down. And I think that line was thrown in there on purpose to tell you that the same damn thing is going on with that trailer.
I'm sorry, I'll get Jack in a second, but Claude actually, out of the blue, made something that was a good point to me. Because I'm like, why does he need the mask? He don't wear the mask half the time. It's not like Vader needed the freaking mask to live.
Right.
Well, he wearing a mask. And what was Claude's thing was like, because there's still some good in him, so he wants to see the, you know, he wants to hide that part or whatever. I don't know what the fuck he said, but it was actually a good point.
That's a good metaphor,
Let's hear why Jack hates it.
No, I say the trailer was deliberately misleading on purpose. I mean, I don't believe anything that you saw there is going to happen the way you think it's going to happen based off the trailer. I think they were smart not to show, kind of give away the plot. I mean, I could be wrong about that. They may.
No, they're not. You're right. You're dead on.
As far as like why Kylo Ren needs the mask, because he looks like a fucking loser. That was the most disappointing part of the movie was when he pulled off.
He's a
And you're like,
douchey emo.
See, people get on that, and it's like I want him to. I would like his face to be all ripped apart and all, like a Sith person, but the looking like a whiny young person, that kind of shows the dynamic of the battle that he's going through. Like he's still a young person making decisions, so I kind of actually get it with why they went with that look with him, and nothing beats with him on that undercover boss thing anyway. On Saturday Night Live. So.
that is the best.
That was great.
I don't understand his point. Like, is he trying to be a dark side? He wants to be Darth Vader, but he's not really. So then what's the point? Like, why? Why would you want to be that? I don't. Let me go.
Conflict.
Internal
conflict.
Well, and the internal conflict makes him more like Darth Vader than he wants to realize. He sees Darth Vader as this epitome of evil, when in reality the good was still struggling within.
No, please don't bring up anything with the Darth Vader. It ruins it for me.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about the end of Jedi.
Yeah. Please don't bring that part up. That really sucks.
It's just that nobody, and I really think I'm anticipating they're really going to explore how it's maybe not as black and white, the Force, as everybody tries to say it is. It's not absolute good versus absolute evil in this whole deal. I think you're going to see more crossing the line back and forth type of shit going on there. I think the mask is partially for Ren. I think it's partially wants to be grandpa. And I think part of it is like, Claude brings up a good point. Trying to hide the good that still might be there, that he sees in the mirror.
I was surprised in the trailer. They showed BB-8 real quick, but I forget the name of the bad droid that's the same version. I'm surprised they didn't show that for the kids. Like my youngest loves BB-8 in that style robot. I was surprised they didn't show the other one, with the one that looks like a Death, like the interior of the Death Star.
The sphere. It's a spherical. It's another. It's a
I forget the name
something.
of the damn thing.
E9 something. I can't remember.
Maybe somebody would know to prep for the cast would know the name of it.
Yeah, I don't care about the goddamn droids.
He didn't print that part.
No, and I wouldn't care anyway. I mean, like, you have R2-D2 and C-3PO, and then you have the rest of their wannabes. Like, BB-8, I have zero interest in BB-8. It's big giant ball that rolls around. That's more impractical than R2-D2 getting around.
BB-9E.
Oh, okay.
BB-9E. Okay, I knew there was an E in there. And besides, it's kind of funny you say that's an impractical droid, and yet that is an absolute practical effect. BB-8 is an actual practical effect. It's not a CGI droid. That droid actually exists.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's silly. The AT-ATs looked really cool. They look like they have this gorilla type stance. Like it looked. I don't know what the way the front paws were. I thought that was kind of cool.
They were beefier.
Yeah, it's Star Wars. I'll go see it.
No, whoa.
I'll go see a Star Wars. I don't know. I haven't been too impressed with them lately. I really think Star Wars needs to distance itself from the past and create a new story.
If you're going to hate it, don't go.
Going back to this Luke, Darth Vader, Princess Leia stuff, and they just really need to move past that and continue the story with new characters and a whole new just direction. I don't know. I think right now we're seeing like a mix between the Star Wars greatest hits and trying to branch off to something new. But we're in the second movie, actually a third movie since I guess Rogue One. I don't know if that would count.
No, that's not really included in the 9.
No, I mean it's kind of sitting off to the side of the.
Yeah, nor does the Han
Skywalker
Solo movie count.
I would like to follow a different plot line other than like the New Hope and like is this going to be Empire Strikes Back? Because The last one was basically A New Hope.
Well, I hope it's Empire Strikes Back.
I hope it's that level, but they won't make movies like that.
All right. So, like I said, one we're looking forward to, one we're not necessarily. So, retro news. It seems like you never can get away from these retro units anymore. We had the NES Classic, the SNES Classic, the Atari Box, which is supposed to be some kind of bridge between retro and maybe mid-level gaming. And now Commodore 64 is coming out with a retro unit. Little mini unit with the full keyboard. Commodore 64, a bunch of games for it. How far is too far, guys?
Does it come with mini 5 1/4 inch floppy disks for the games?
Would that be a 3.5 inch?
So I mean, do they miniaturize those disks that it used to run games on?
I don't think it has that. It's all in the ROM.
Hey, the Commodore 64 was an awesome machine. It was basically a computer that was built as a gaming machine because I don't know anybody. No, I take that back. I will get on a side now. My father-in-law, who taught until I think he retired, I don't know, like over 10 years ago, never transitioned to PCs. He does now. He had still used the Commodore 64 in his classroom to middle school. And literally, kids did not know what the thing was. Like into the 2000s, he was still using the Commodore 64. So he's the one person that I know that used the Commodore 64 besides gaming purposes.
God. Now, I don't need the retro system. I'm positive my parents still have my Commodore 64 down in the basement with all the discs and everything in it. I don't know if the discs are still good, but too far. Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it come with a wheel?
I don't think it did. No.
There's your answer.
Printer.
No, you know what? Let's face it. How long till the Magnavox Odyssey comes back as a retro unit? I mean, for God's sakes. With
it's a great machine. I used to play, like, there was some baseball game, John, that had like the players and everything. And Commodore 64.
Oh, 64.
Stats. Sporting News.
Yeah,
Sporting News Baseball.
Yeah, I remember
that was a great game.
Load Runner was on there. I forget what else I played on
Load Runner was a good one. There was a game where you ran for president that was pretty good. And of course the standard lemonade stand. Oregon Trail.
Mm-hmm. Zork. Who cares? It was 40 years ago.
Yeah. Moving on.
All right. Destiny 2 Iron Banner coming out. Jack, when's that come out? When is
today? Now, yeah.
That is today. Okay. Disclaimer. It'll be actually yesterday when you guys are listening to this. We record on Tuesday. You'll see the copy on Wednesday. So 10/10 today is when that came out. So
they are bringing out they call a new map, but this will make Jammer happy. It is a reskin from a Destiny 1 map. The new map's called Distant Shore, and it's one of the original ones, a Venus-based Shores of Time. So yeah, there's Destiny just reusing content again,
saving money.
Well, and so light level mattered. Well, they said light level mattered in Iron Banner, and that way, things were different. But it sounds like everything's actually evened out still. But you just have to be a certain light level to play.
Yeah, I don't know about what level you have to be to play, but yeah, it's pretty much light level is really just a magic number. It's a bullshit number. It's meaningless. It only limits you to certain events if you're under level. For Iron Banner, it used to be. Oh, I'm getting typed at. The light level would make a difference when you played. So if, like, say you were 300 and I was a 280, you would do more damage to me and I wouldn't do as much damage to you, vice versa. Well, now they threw that out the window for the Iron Banner. So they got away from what the Iron Banner really was like gear specific. But at the same time, it's so easy to gear up in this game that everybody's pretty much in the 280s, 290s. So they're all basically the same anyway. I'm just going to be playing this because I really want to get some of the Barbie dress ups for my hunter and make them look pretty damn cool. I like the Iron Banner outfits, but
Viking-esque.
yeah, they're really pretty cool, and I'll get those, and my hunter will wear those, and I don't know if I'll bother doing it with my warlock because he's a lesser class.
The Titan looks the best.
No,
Yeah.
wrong answer.
I didn't say he's the best class. I say looks the best with the Iron Banner armor.
Wrong answer. Hunters. Hunter is the only correct answer. Moving on.
So, but I mean, it doesn't. I've ripped on Destiny enough the past two shows. I don't see, at least with our group, the same. I see some people still playing it, but I'm already seeing the drop off, and I didn't see that as much with the other Destiny. So I'm wondering what's different now that it doesn't look like the long term for a greater number of people is going to happen with Destiny 2.
I'll tell you,
7 came out.
you have a game. Well, you have more things technically to do. The content seems like it's a little less to me. I don't know, but then you're also doing stuff that you've done before. So you're fighting enemies that are the same. You're doing these. There's only a few strikes. You can only do them so many times. The Nightfall is just ridiculously hard, and it's only hard based off the timer. So people avoid that. They're not playing that. I know a lot of guys. I don't play it. It's just not fun to me. I don't want to, be forced with this stupid timer and deal with that nonsense. And maybe I suck at PvE, but whatever. And so you hit a wall real quick. I leveled up my second character. Within 2 days, I was at 290. And that was like minimal game time. After I finished the story, I spent a night running a few strikes, doing a couple other things to unlock all your extra milestones and whatnot. Next thing I know, I'm like 290, and I still don't even have all purple gear. So it's, there's really not much to do once you get past it. People were playing like the Nightfall 3 times a week to get the gear with with their different characters. No, now people don't even want to play it at all. They're skipping it entirely. So I think that after a month of playing it, you've already maxed out, and unless you're running the raids on a constant basis with 3 characters, there's not not much to do unless you're playing PvP. I see it definitely dropping. I look at the clan list, and I see over the 2 clans. At first we were 100 people, like lock, stock, and barrel. Now it's half that on both clans.
Yep, it sucks. All right, John, moving on.
It sucks. Wow. Fortnite Battle Royale. It's officially out. We've got a few people playing it. I had a good time with it last night. I think it's pretty interesting. Very, very similar to PUBG, but that building aspect adds a lot to it. Doesn't have the vehicles. I missed that out of PUBG. I missed the vehicle stuff.
Well, you missed the vehicles in PUBG since you've only played 2.5 hours.
Jeez. That's a hell of a lot of matches, though.
Well, let's go back to a discussion I had today with PJ, who is our PUBG expert, and he told me, and I quote, 223 hours, 221 more than Johnny Hustler.
That's a quote.
Yes. I'm sorry, John. Go ahead.
Last night he put in 2 hours of Fortnite.
So he's done with that one. Did you uninstall it right after that?
I didn't install it. No, I think it's all right. I mean, I don't see it having a lot of traction in general once PUBG hits Xbox, but of course there's some people that are into that building shit. So they might stick with it, but I think PUBG will hurt it.
Yeah, I think so too. You in PUBG you have the different sights and different attachments for your guns. You don't have that in this game. You basically just get an assault rifle, this or that, or the other thing. So I kind of like that aspect. I also like the realism, the look of PUBG over, Fortnite. Fortnite's it's very cartoony, and even plays very similar. That's the graphics kind of just throw me off. I kind of want that more realistic setting. I mean, it's probably superficial, but whatever. That's just what I like better.
Well, I
Well,
can
I've always
see
known you
it.
to be instant professional, so it's okay.
Mm.
That makes sense. I mean, it's not going to be for everybody. It is going to be a niche game. It is not going to have the traction. I think right now a lot of the player base in there is just, getting a taste of PUBG before PUBG comes out. So, but not a bad game in its own right, and it's free to play. So if you're interested, pick that up. Okay, let's get into some other stuff going on. This one could be a little bit controversial. Battlefront 2 beta came out. The word out is good gameplay, but there's a little bit of controversy with these loot crates. There's a pay to win vibe that's creeping through the community, the gaming community in general, I should say, regarding the Battlefront 2 beta.
I did not play the beta. I heard some people liked it, minus the loot crate system. It still had the Star Wars feel to it, and all that looked good. But the biggest feedback I keep hearing is about the loot crates.
Well, that's a big issue. I played the beta. I put a few games into it, probably about 5 or 6.
Hated it, probably.
Well, no, I actually enjoyed it. I had fun playing it, but I think I had fun playing it, and once I was done playing the beta, I think I was kind of done playing the game. I don't know how in depth the game is. It's kind of like a watered down Battlefield. And if you like Star Wars movies and you want to go around shooting stuff as a Star Wars character, absolutely get this game because you'll enjoy it. You'll be able to play as Darth Maul and just rip through people all day long. But I kind of think the gameplay is a little shallow, a little bit linear. Like you don't have areas to go. It's just the one mission they were doing was you escort this big giant droid ship across town, and it was pretty straightforward. You had 3 streets to go down. So it's not like a Battlefield where it's wide open. You have more avenues to attack from. But yeah, I enjoyed it, and yeah, once I was done playing the beta, I don't think I would buy it. Then I read about the loot crates, and I found out how pay to win they were, and I'm done. I'm not even going to entertain getting it.
Well, the loot crates is the main way the player progression is, from my understanding, right?
Only way is the word.
So basically, a random chance is basically how you, or paying, for extra loot crates. Unfortunately, this is the next step in the evolution of gaming. Is they're doing away with season passes because they've said that doesn't work anymore, and so they said we're going to stop giving these to you. We're not going to make you pay for these season passes anymore because we're looking out for you, the gamer. And so now the new plan to make money is to unload loot crates everywhere, which is popping up more and more frequently within games.
And it's such a lazy way, and especially the way they're handled is super lazy. I mean, you're actually, you can buy cards that will give you 100% damage reduction for your character. So you can fly around as Boba Fett with 100% damage reduction. Where like if they were just smart and just did like pay for skins. And so say you create like a Boba Fett skin and made it all chrome. So it's like a shiny Boba Fett, like $5. People are going to buy that.
Mm-hmm.
There's stuff like that. And it has no effect on gameplay. So you'll still be able to generate your money. You're not going to affect your gameplay. Fans are going to be okay with it because I can give a shit about the skins, but maybe you want the shiny Boba Fett, so you're going to buy that. So I can play Boba Fett as regular Boba Fett, and I'm okay with it. So I think with this and the backlash you're going to get from the loot, this game's in trouble. And it's going to have, you're going to have the parents buy it for their kids because of the movie, but the serious gamers are going to really back off of this. And everyone's pretty skittish about the pay to win. And that's not a term gamers want to hear.
But they are taken from the traditional way the mobile industry is, because that all is pay to win.
Exactly.
On those games. And the mobile games, even though I'm not a mobile gamer, they make a ton. I can't believe the people pay the money they pay for that. I play that Dice with Friends thing, and I see something pop up for $99 for, all these free rolls or shit. And I'm like, I can't believe, but I know people are doing it.
Oh, yeah.
So They see all the money that these Clash of Clans and all are making, and they're like, well, shit, we got to get in on this somehow.
I've got 2 mobile games. I've seen people literally drop $5,000 in a month. $5,000.
Yeah, they make tons of money.
And I like them, but $5,000, fuck, that's a down payment.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
On a made purchase. I mean, I like the idea of Loot Crate. I don't like the idea of pay to win.
Yeah, I mean, Loot Crate for skins and stuff.
Right. And as far as like Lala talking about skins, I'll say paint. Somebody puts an effort into a paint in another game, he's going to get in-game credit, which is going to build his bankroll. And the crates in this same particular game, you're paying for it with in-game credit, not real money. And I'm okay with that. Earn your credit in game, buy a legendary crate. But the pay to win with actual physical money, no. Well, it's not good for anybody. Well, there's people losing their houses over these games.
Well, the Loot Crate, I mean, the problem with the Loot Crate is that it's a random chance.
Yeah, so even if you pay, you get a random chance.
But
it's not really a random chance because they can code it however they fuck they want.
Well, it could be a random chance. That's more accurate.
But some games put them in tiers. If you want to pay $10,000 for an uncommon crate or $150,000 in-game credits for a legendary crate, that's a chance you take. I mean, that feeds people's need to gamble. And I'm okay, like I said, with it in-game. It's just when they start spending their own money and the whole pay-to-win aspect. That's bullshit.
You're in the minority though on the loot crates there, Gunny.
Yeah. Elder Scrolls has the loot crates, and you can buy the cards to unlock the loot crates, so you can get like these specific mounts that are really cool. And it's such bullshit because I would just buy the mount outright. If you said it's $15 to buy this, sparkly silver My Pretty Pony horse for Elder Scrolls, I'd buy the fucking thing.
15, that's a deal.
Yeah, right.
But
done.
Outright done. But no, they put them behind these loot crates. You know what I do? I don't buy that shit. I don't buy the cards. I don't buy any of it. Yeah. I'm not going to pay to have some random chance to win some random bullshit thing that I want, that I would buy outright had it been available. So it's very disappointing that Star Wars went this route, and I almost was going to buy it after the beta. I found about those loot crates and forget it.
Well, I think it's really going to hurt this game. I'll tell you what, I got to look back. I got a feeling I lost a bet somewhere because I'm pretty sure I thought Activision would be the first to pull this shit over EA, but lost that one.
I can't figure out where they thought that this was a good idea. Gamers hate that term, pay to win.
Well, where they thought this idea was a good idea was some stupid fucking marketer got in there into a meeting and got into somebody's ear.
I think they're going to really suffer, and this may be a good thing for us if this game tanks.
I was going to say, let's hope they learn their lesson.
Yeah, I hope it tanks. At this point, I hope it bombs out big time. Because if it doesn't, then it's going to be Call of Duty. Then it's going to be Destiny. Then it's going to be, pick your next big game. Maybe Red Dead Redemption, whatever. It's going to infuse the AAA titles if this one is successful.
That's what scares me about Borderlands 3.
Hey, John.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted, for the record on recording, so you're not going to get Battlefront 2?
If this is pay to win, no.
Well, but that's kind of, then when you buy it, then you're going to say, whoa, no. So no. So what will you determine as pay to win? So that way I can note this for the Johnny Lies thread.
If these are what they say, if these crates come out as what they say they are right now, as they sit right now, the character progression hidden in crates, and people get the opportunity to buy the crates to progress faster, no. I don't want anything to do with it. I will not pay for it out of principle because of the fact that, like I said before, this one's successful. Every damn multiplayer game is going to have it, and we're going to fuck multiplayer gaming up big time.
Okay, I know you with the small print. It goes on sale for $30.
Nope.
20.
Nope.
Okay, so no matter what the price, you won't buy it then.
If this has a pay-to-win mechanic, I will not buy it. I don't care if they make it free.
Wow.
Okay.
So what are the odds, the betting odds that he's buying this?
I really need to create a spreadsheet when he says this shit on the
60-40?
cast. Yeah, so I can remember which podcast to go back to.
Here, I'll make it easy for you. Episode 68, one less than 69. It's not that hard to figure out.
I won't forget that one.
No, I mean, I'm serious. I do not like pay to win. I had that Bejeweled, that Star Wars game that was like Bejeweled, where you put, the little 3 in a row type of shit. And I was playing it, and as soon as it blocked me to try to get me to pay, went off my phone. But I paid $2.99 for Bejeweled.
Well,
Same
I know,
damn game.
And John understands as a host that he needs to be honest with his audience, so I know that he'll stick to his word.
Until it posts in the thread.
Now, something interesting that's come out of this. Review aggregate site, OpenCritic, the other site other than Metacritic, that basically aggregates a score, puts all the reviews together and stuff, gives you one link to look at everything, is taking a stance against loot crates in that they're going to put some system together to warn gamers when there's going to be pay to win, when there's going to be loot crates to buy, randomized stuff, progression, whatever. They said they are just working on a system right now to do it, but they plan to incorporate warnings basically for this pay to win, loot crate, buying random chances, whatever, to start putting it up front there. This game has this, this, and this.
Buyer beware.
Yeah, I mean, do you think we're going to get an unofficial rating system? Kind of.
No.
Rated dollar sign for you're fucked. Like I said, unofficial rating system.
Yeah, I think that they're still trying to figure out how they're going to word this, but they're definitely going to include loot crates, the percentages, whether they cost. You need to buy real money if you can buy loot crates with in-game currency, and whether or not it's pay to win. And this is just good. I mean, someone needs to put this information out there, let people know what they're in for when buying a game. And I hope, like you said, I hope it makes a difference with the developers. They realize no one wants this besides them.
And knowing is half the battle.
G.I. Joe.
Says the Western hippie.
Oh my God! Fuck you.
By the way, once I did see the agenda, we skipped the member spotlight part with Gunny's chickens.
Oh yeah. He has the names down.
He has names of chickens.
I saw Agnes and Myrtle.
If I didn't, my wife would kill me.
You don't eat the chickens?
Yeah, you don't call them dinner?
No, we eat the youngins that they lay.
You what? Oh, you eat their children.
Eggs.
The offspring.
Hey, we went 7 for 7 2 days ago.
Eat the future generations of chickens.
That's right.
I'm kind of disappointed that there's not a bunch of chickens walking around behind them. Actually, that would have been really entertaining.
Well,
it could have been, but it's too dark. They've already put themselves up in the chicken coop.
That's true. They huddle and shut up.
Do you read them like a bedtime story or like Goodnight Moon or anything?
That's Mama's job. Those are her babies. So she talks to them.
You know what I do with peanut butter with the dogs?
Don't do that with a chicken.
Gunny's got chicken seeds in his pockets.
True story. You get it all over you.
Gunny, why are there pecks all over your crotch?
Well, Henny Penny got a little frisky.
So since it's October, do you read them a horror story like Humpty Dumpty or?
No. My only job was to build the coop, build the run. I let them out in the morning because I'm the first one up. So about 7 o'clock they get up. And I'm the last one to come outside at night when it's dark. So I shut the coop door.
Well, the key is, though, see, what people don't understand is the reason Gunny has gotten all these chickens is his favorite South Park episode is where the dude wants kids to read, so he fucks chickens. Yeah, respect my authority. Yeah. So that's why Gunny decided to get that, because he figured that he can inspire kids to read by fucking chickens.
The rainbow bus, the rainbow library bus.
Yes.
Oh God, okay. I just saw that episode like last week.
That's like the second season of South Park. That's still my favorite episode. I guess.
That's classic.
I hadn't seen that one in ages. Now you bring it up.
Yeah.
Okay, so real quick for member spotlight: Agnes, Myrtle, Nugget, Gladys, Henny, Penny, Red, and Ethel. There. 7 of them. 7
Ethel's kind of hot.
Ethel's an Easter egger. She is pretty hot.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Blue and green eggs. She's a freaky girl.
I'd like to say I have no idea what you're talking about with all this, but my parents actually, or my mom and grandpa used to raise chickens when I was a kid.
So you're
We're
a
not
closet
surprised.
chicken.
They'd get like 50 chicks every spring, raise them, and off with their heads.
Next year.
Friars.
Next
Friars
year
by
we'll eat 'em.
fall. Friars by fall, baby.
Your canned chicken.
All right.
Sunday dinners for the rest of the year.
Beer butt chicken, not beer can chicken.
Whatever.
All right. And the big release of the last couple weeks, Forza 7. Gunny's all happy and excited. He's got his full NASCAR cockpit built, ready to go.
Temporary.
Gunny even put a box fan right in front of the car so it looks like his long locks are flowing while he drives.
That's right. Feels like I'm going in the breeze, baby. Motherfucking convertible.
Well, so we did the time trials, and Gunny talked all this nonsense about how good he was until we saw his time.
Up until last night. Those have been updated.
I only saw the first ones. I don't know what you're talking about.
We don't need to talk about those times.
Yeah, okay. I don't want to say nothing until Johnny leads into it. So
I don't know what the fuck you guys do because, see, I adhere to speed limits. That's why my times always suck.
Because you're a fucking school teacher.
Yes. I drive safely.
You drive the school bus in Forza? Is there a school bus in Forza?
That'd be awesome. Well, here we don't have the big yellow buses, though. We have the small 14-passenger ones. Private schools tend to have the smaller ones.
All right. Well, I'm not sure how I'm supposed to lead into this because I'm the one here that doesn't have the game. So,
well, that didn't stop you from reviewing other games we've had. You did a whole Destiny review off of 2 minutes of game time.
Jeez.
I can't believe that's going to stop you.
No, I figured I'd just let you guys all talk while I go get another beer.
You rambled on for 45 minutes about Destiny and you played it for 3.
You're going to blow your nose out.
Holy shit. This is actually the reddest I've ever seen Jack.
He's having a moral stand all of a sudden with his game reviews.
You bitch when I take a stand, you bitch when I don't.
Right.
No,
well,
anyway, I just figured I could let you guys go because you guys...
All right, well, I'll co-host it out then, so you just sit back and relax, John, all right?
I mean, this is Microsoft's biggest gaming franchise, or one of their biggest gaming franchises, their biggest racing franchise. It's right up there with Gran Turismo on the PS. I mean, it's a hell of a series, and from what I've seen on the, with the 4K graphics and everything, man, that thing's gonna, I mean, it looks gorgeous now, but when 4K comes out and the Xbox One X comes out, whoa.
And it absolutely does look gorgeous, even without 4K. That they whooped on Project Cars 2 and Assetto Corsa with graphics. I mean, the environments are just ridiculous.
Yeah, Forza's always been really good with that. I think one of the first things that we can go to, John, since you have no idea what any of this stuff means, because you're buying the game soon, though. Sure, right?
I don't know.
You're gonna hedge on that one.
Call of Duty's coming out pretty soon. We're not too far. We're what, about 4 weeks away?
You spend about $25,000 a year in gaming, so another $60 to you is not going to hurt you. For
God's sakes.
Anyway, so the first thing that came out that was a big issue was the VIPs.
Oh, yeah, I've heard you guys talk about this.
Absolutely terrible.
The VIPs have always, generally got, I think it was an extra 10% credits for races, and there were some incentives in there. Forza Horizon had, the little spinner wheel, which was pretty cool. You could win a car or credits and all that. And they went the loot crate way as well with mods for cards. So you could use a card for 5 times. It gives you, 20% extra credit.
Or driving better in the rain.
Yeah.
Better turns or whatever. Yeah.
So go ahead, Gunny, because you've used the VIP before. Talk about like some of the changes that they were gonna make and what your first reaction was.
Well, my first reaction is I thought we got fucked. I mean, that's the bottom line, because a lot of the serious racers need and or want the extra 10%. But before we go any further, kudos to Turn 10, because they did listen to the community. I think that's one of the developers that actually does a good job listening to the community, because as shitty as what they did with VIP, they came back and fixed it.
Well, we got 1 million credits and 5 cars.
Right, and they're good cars. I mean, it's just not like, here's a car, shut the fuck up. They're fucking legendary cars that bumped up your collector status and everything else. So, plus some crates, plus the 1 million credit, plus they're fixing VIPs are going to go back to the 10% on.
I don't think the 10%. Yeah, I don't think the 10% really hurt them in terms of the economy. It's not that much more.
Not really.
At 10%, but it's a little bit of an incentive to pay the VIP rate.
Sure, and even that 1 million credits didn't hurt them, because I'm already under 1 million credits, having used some of it for paints or skins or purchasing a vehicle specific for a race that I didn't want to wait for. So, it didn't hurt them one bit, but they did listen to the community. That's one nice thing about Forza. They have a tight community. If you go to the forums, they're in there all the time. So
I can't figure out, some people, my car collector tier is 6 right now. I've seen people in the 20s. I don't even know how the hell they're doing that. They must not go to sleep.
Right, they're playing it 24/7.
They must be. So Jack, did you have anything with that, with the VIP? Did you give a shit going into that? Was it a problem for you? Because it annoyed me too. I was mad at first that I wasn't getting that extra 10%.
No, I just wanted the game early, so I bought it. I downloaded. The VIP didn't really do much for me. I didn't mess around with any of the cars. I didn't even look at those mods. I don't even understand how that works. So.
I don't even use them.
No, I haven't used any of them, and
that's why you sucky.
Status is because I wanted to have the game that weekend and play early. So,
see, yeah, like I like getting the package, the VIP, and everything. I want the extra credit. I love collecting the cars, even though I don't drive the majority of the cars as it is probably. But I get the DLC packs and everything, and so that's an incentive to me, is getting those extra credits, because I want to be able to buy more cars. Yes. So that's. Them taking that away at first was really sucky, and they weren't really upfront with that change.
No, they weren't. In fact, they ended up changing the vocabulary of the original release on specifically what VIP entailed. They went back and changed the whole vocabulary of it and said very specifically, this is what we meant.
Yeah.
So
now, and what I've done with the mods myself is the extra cash ones. I'll generally use those when I'm driving one of those Forza cars that give you already a credit boost, and then you're getting a big ass boost between the mod and the boost of the car and the credits you earn. So that's what I've been doing.
Me too. So, and there's certain specific games or tracks that it's coming up rain at night. You're going to need some of those cards. Driving at night gives you extra light and a boost. Driving in the rain gives you extra traction.
But those mods to me, they change. That changes the dynamic of the race. You already have assist built in and everything.
Right, but the serious guys are already going to be tuning their own car, so that's just an added bonus.
Yeah,
I mean that's one thing with the time trials. We're not tuning. I mean, everybody's stock from the get go. I personally want to tune it. I could probably get 4 seconds on the time trials, but we can't tune. So.
Well, that's the problem, is because we're all knuckleheads. I think you and maybe Digital, the two guys, are a little bit more serious into this. I would buy a tune off of somebody or look up a tune, but that's about it. As far as like those mods, I mean, that's kind of like a cheat mode. And if this game's really designed as like a serious racing sim, it kind of takes away from it. So if you're going to give something like it's a night race and it's during the rain, and you're going to throw on a card to take to drive a little bit better on it, well, what's the point? I mean, you're playing the game to simulate driving at night in the rain. So drive at night in the rain versus if you put that card on, then you're just bypassing that whole mechanic. And I think that takes away from a game that's supposed to be, a simulation.
Well, then I would ask you this: what's the difference between tuning your car, being prepared for that, versus just throwing a card on there, making it easy?
Well, I'm not that into the game, so to me it doesn't make.
But I'm just saying it's six in one hand, half dozen in another.
Yeah,
and I haven't been online yet because I'm still trying to figure the game out, feel it, the menus, the physics, which are a lot different. They're better. I think they're more realistic, so it's given me a little longer time to figure out. But I haven't gone into multiplayer yet, so I don't know. And maybe one of our community members knows, but I'm not sure if you can use those cards while driving against other players.
No, I doubt you. I think that's got to be a single player only thing.
Right, and so that eliminates the. Well, he can drive better than me because he got a car.
So, boy, there's an echo in my headset. That's fun. But anyway, I think John took me literally because I literally see him in pajamas with a pillow in his hand now. So I think I've taken over.
You guys quiet down. I'm trying to take a nap over here. God damn it!
Oh, sorry, we'll keep it down for Johnny now. So the next thing we have a couple more things we want to talk about with it briefly. Some things were, and this isn't the only game that's done this, but leagues at the Forza-thon, the auction shop. There are certain things that aren't open yet. Is that frustrating to you as a gamer? And John, you can actually, talk about this in other game senses.
Right.
When there's features there, but they're like, coming soon. He's like,
but that goes back to the same. It's the same with all the games. First day patches, unreleased content we forgot to throw in there. It's the same shit over and over.
Yeah, but this unreleased stuff is like leagues is a pretty, important thing. The auction shop. The auction shop is a pretty used thing. The Forza-thon, people look forward to Forza-thon.
I wholeheartedly agree, and I just say I think that's a problem. You're just not talking Forza; you're talking gaming.
No, this is widespread, and it's really been bad this generation. That is annoying, especially when you're talking about a game that's been on a 3-4 year development cycle, that you have something like a league or something that's pretty major to be missing from something like Forza. That's almost like season mode missing from Madden.
Right.
You play those games for season modes, for league modes, those kind of things. I can say that it's not quite as annoying as when a game gets pretty obvious that they took something that they delayed and then put it into DLC and made you pay extra for it later. But it's near that level of annoyance.
Agreed.
And like I said, this is something that's been really bad this gen, with faster internet speeds and bigger hard drive capacity and stuff. Yeah, they just we're gonna dump a 50 gig patch on you day one, and still miss a few features.
I ended up dumping 3 games just to get Forza on my machine. So
I bought an 8 gig external.
External drive, you don't have to worry about it again.
Needed the wheel. It was more important.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of that, let's move off of the so some of the things that aren't ready yet. I was actually trying to see quickly while you guys were talking if there was any ETA on when some of that stuff's coming. I do see here briefly when I'm looking, November 7th, there'll be a patch for Xbox One X owners for native 4K and a solid 60 frame per second. That's one thing I see.
And a solid 100 gigabytes.
Yeah, I'm trying to just scan real quick. So
I don't get, like, you see it Forza Horizon 3. So I'm not sure how much different Forza 7 is versus Horizon 3. But they had like Forza-thon in, Forza Horizon 3. Why is it not implemented here? I don't know if the code or the game is that much different. In fact, we talked about like what we thought about the game. Me and my kids thought that Horizons 3 looked a little bit better than 7, which was odd because I expected 7 to really kind of blow us out of the water. It looks great. It just, I think Horizons 3 looked a little bit better.
I want to keep moving on, but I think one of the things you got to remember with Horizons is that there's environment.
Bingo.
Yeah.
There's not just tracks. So you have environment, which they have to then fill in. So it's like you're driving around. What was that, Australia for Horizon?
Yeah.
So there's a lot more detail that goes into the environment around you besides just a racing track.
Right, and if you're any having experience with these tracks, you can see the difference over the iterations of the different Forza versions. I mean, it's freaking gorgeous, dude.
Well, no, don't get me wrong. I mean, like complaining about Forza graphics is kind of silly. I mean, the game it's a gorgeous game, and the cars look awesome. One of the things I like to do in the game is originally I started racing the bumper view because
see, you're blowing the agenda.
Oh, what's the agenda?
Son of a bitch, Johnny. We need to have a meeting without him sometime to discuss him. Please note that while I'm doing this part. So moving on to the next part of the agenda, the wheel versus the controller debate. What's interesting is Digital, who has a wheel, and he's actually buying another wheel, said he actually had better times when he used the controller that time. Lala and I are both dying for a wheel, and I'm very close to buying a wheel. Gunny lives by the wheel. So where do we stand on the wheel versus controller debate? Go ahead, Gunny.
I was going to say, Gunny's is easy.
To me, the money is worth it for the fun factor. It draws me in a little bit further. It feels like I'm actually driving. I mean, we've all got years of experience actually driving. But when I have a controller in my hand, it doesn't feel like I'm driving a car. I may as well play fucking Destiny 2. But when you're using the wheel, shifting the gears, trying to counter steer, it's fun. And that's the difference for me. And that's why I'm such a fucking wheel diva. To me, the fun factor is more important. So that's the way I go.
It's such an expensive peripheral.
It is. And I got burned so bad when they went from 360 Xbox One and that Fanatec wouldn't come over.
Yeah.
And I was bitter about it for a couple of years. But
sure
the fun factor is fucking phenomenal.
That was frustrating that Xbox didn't allow that stuff to come over because I didn't have the Fanatec that you had. I had an Xbox wheel and it had force feedback and it would have been fine for what I need. But yeah, so I don't even know if I still have it.
But most people enjoyed that particular wheel too. It's just it just adds a fun factor to it. So
exactly.
Well, when you think about it, the G920 that I'm looking at costs more than an Xbox One Slim console.
True.
And that's not even like a high-end level wheel.
Which
it's
to put this in perspective,
but that's when you have to gauge.
Put this in perspective. John, on Amazon, this is currently $283.15 via Prime. So I just thought I'd throw that in there for
the G920.
Yeah.
Oh, it went down. It was like $299 the other day.
Nope. I got mine for $280, and if you'd shut up, I might maybe make you a deal because my old lady said I could freaking upgrade already.
I don't know if Jack or I really want anything that your hands have. It's probably got chicken shit on it.
I'll
who knows
even
what else?
sanitize it for you.
Desanitize it.
But my point is, we all have our certain niches and genres, and we all know Forza is one of mine that I really have a good time with. So then you have to evaluate how much fun do you want to have with it. Are my times going to suffer? Maybe, but I'm having a fucking great time doing it. So,
yeah. I mean, Jack, do you think if you had a wheel, you would do better? I kind of think I would, but then I would be really disappointed to spend $300 and not be any better at the game.
It takes practice.
I mean, partly I think, by turning a wheel, it's better than the stupid thumbstick, because you're doing in the pedals and stuff.
Back on Forza 4, when I first got that Fanatec setup, I was no better. I was actually worse because I had to get used to not having the controller versus the wheel. Once you get used to it, you do get better. It does add the fun factor. If it's something you're not using, you got to get used to it.
I think you'll be able to hold turns and make turns a little bit better. I don't know, $300 better, but yeah, to me, if I got a wheel, it would be strictly just to immerse myself more into that game. And this is, like I said before, with this game, if you had the controller and if you had like a VR headset, it would be fucking stellar. This is probably the only thing I would get a VR headset for, and it would be fantastic.
I would go knee deep into that too.
Oh, that'd be sweet. That was
cockpit view and VR with around the back wheel and the box fan in front of you. I mean, you'd be pretty set.
Yeah. All right. So
I would have to get a wheel. I would be so damn tempted to get a wheel. I remember on PC, I enjoyed racing games more with a wheel than I did than I
Much.
did with controller or mouse and keyboard. It just,
Yeah.
I enjoyed it more. It felt better. It felt real. You have to have the force feedback. You know, you can go cheap with $100 and get the non-force feedback wheel, but those are useless.
Yep, you'll break it.
I have shittily played racing games for a long time, and I'm still shitty at them. And I've always wanted the wheel, but the price tag has always turned me away.
And
Well,
that's a fact.
I think, speaking of being bad, I sucked at them. I played Forza 2. I played with the two old Forza guys. And, we were doing one race. It was Mustangs. We had the Boss Mustang. And I remember painting mine John Deere colors because I spent all my time in the goddamn grass. I said, I might as well be a fucking lawnmower. Like John Carter and all them. They were like laughing at me and stuff. Or Jay Cotter. And so I was terrible at it. And I think with playing with GRG, we did the Forza Horizon 3 nights, and I think that really elevated my game. And I feel like I can play better. I'm playing Forza 7 a lot better, a million times better than when I played other Forza games. And I can, especially with these time trials we're doing.
That's tough.
It's tough. I mean, I know I'm not going to win these, and I have no problems with that. But I know I can see like somebody makes a score, like, oh, look, AP's got this time. Now I kind of know where I got to be at, and you work at trying to get better. You look at turns. So I'll spend like a few times. I'll hit the rewind button like a bitch and practice turns so I can try to like maybe I'll do 10 laps. Maybe the first 3 I really focus on like what the hell I'm doing. I come back later, the last 7, and try to make a clean lap and try to make proper turns. And
Yeah, I
Last thing,
try
we'll
not.
move on.
Yeah, I try not to use the rewind button much. Go ahead, Gunny, and then we'll move to the
Just
next
real
one.
quick, and just go caveat on what Jack said. Digital published that video of him driving the Porsche. I was able to see where his shift points were, and I gained a second and a half. So
There you go. The savant of Gunny, being able to just count matches and know when digital shifts his little stick.
Definitely
So the
shift
last
here.
piece
Definitely.
with the what's that, John?
Definitely shift here. Definitely.
Yes. So the last piece here with it is, what type of view do you use?
I was preaching bumper, but I had an awesome time with cockpit. I think I'm sticking with cockpit from now on. But bumper is the standard.
Yes.
see, okay, so it's a shame because I really like looking at the cars. My favorite part of Forza is buying, looking at the cars, and owning all the cars, and so that's all I like to do. But racing in third person or third car view, whatever you want to call it, it is awful. You drive like shit. You're slow. You're late to turns. Blah blah blah. So
It's an arcade.
the two of the Forza guys, we were doing the bumper racing. So I went to that, and definitely much better. I mean, like, it's amazing the difference you can do, even from one game to the next. You switch, and you're not sliding all over the place. You're making turns proper, but you get kind of boring because you don't get to see your car. And also, when things get congested, you can't really see the racing line, which I still need the racing line. I need the assist. I'm a big baby. So, last night I heard everybody talking about going to cockpit view, and cock is in the word, so of course I had to go check it out. But seriously though, you get into the cockpit view, and you can see like the inside, and all the cars are completely accurately detailed, and you can see the guy shift, the guy turn. It just adds a little bit more to it. It was kind of fun. And I was racing last night. I was with Gunny. We were testing out his mic, and I'm racing some Mercedes AMG, and just like kicking ass, doing pretty well with it. And I was okay, And so I think I'm gonna stick with the cockpit view just for that. And I think I was telling Gunny last night, I think we need to lock in a race where everybody does cockpit view, and it's just for like to fuck around with.
Johnny, you had a comment about cocks?
I had a question for Lala. You said you like to buy all the cars, collect all the cars and everything. If you buy a BMW in this one, do you actually get to drive it, or is your wife going to take that one too?
Oh,
That's funny because he was bitching last night. He grabbed a Mercedes and it had a BMW sitting right next to it.
well, in Horizon 3, I had to buy all the BMWs, and I will do that in this game. So.
What's amazing, and this show's gone long, so I got to move it forward, to see John has just learned what happens when you're in my position. because normally he's busy hosting, so I'm able to sit back and pick my spots. You were able to just do that because I'm hosting right now.
This is fun. We got to do some trading off so I can do this more often.
So, I'll just I'll finish. So, what's interesting to me is I use the cockpit one as well, just because I feel it's more traditional. I like looking around the car. I feel like Jack exactly said, the bumper view, you're just seeing the track. But I do find that a lot of Forza players seem to use the bumper view. Seems to be the way a lot of them go. But
Competitive.
yeah. But I think we're all happy with the game. I'm gonna move along. That we talked about it. Any final points about Forza before we move along?
It's great. Come check us out on Friday nights and check out the time trials on the forums.
Hey, it made Gunny turn his Xbox on.
Yes.
All right, let's try this now. Ready? Johnny.
I'm here.
Wake up, Johnny.
What?
Wait, Johnny. Okay. It's time for you to finish up the show now,
I don't want to
please.
go to school, Mom. All right, good discussion on Forza. That's some interesting stuff to hear. Like I said, the problem with me for that game is that if I buy it, it's going to become like a $400 purchase because of that damn wheel.
And it's going to be a dust ball because you're not going to play it like all the other fucking games.
And Gunny will have one cheap for sale soon. Barely used.
He has a farm simulator, so he's fine.
Yeah, I'm not buying that controller either. What was that, about $400 for that damned?
I think it was nuts. I couldn't believe it.
with the big old space panel and shit, land on the moon with that damn thing. All right. So, yeah, that's good. That's one you'll be seeing a lot of Friday night racing in GRG for the weeks to come. So, all right, let's go through the clan hype stuff. Let's finish up this show. I want to welcome all the new people. We put a Destiny recruiting post out this morning, and I think we've got over a dozen, probably 12, 15 people.
Yeah, and let's rephrase that.
Lala put it
out
down.
anything.
Hey, I responded and said yes.
Oh,
Yeah, but all these applications is like work. My email kept going off with applications all day. I just kept denying them all.
I pay you plenty. Be quiet.
Now, good job on the recruitment post, and welcome to the numerous new members that have.
Oh, this GRT.
Yeah. New members. God, I'm going back to our previous conversation earlier this show.
Well, part of the GRG application is that you do have to send the admins nudes.
Yeah.
So that is accurate.
Careful what you wish for. Welcome. Enjoy your time. We got plenty of Destiny going on. It sounds like we got some others that like to enjoy other games besides Destiny. So have fun. Get that friends list filled up. Next show recording in 2 weeks on the 24th. Who knows? We might talk a little bit about Halloween. What the hell? Facebook page is on facebook.com/Grim Reaper Gamers. And Jammer, hit me with the Twitter.
It's grgamers.com. Spell out the .dot.
And remember, we have an email address if you want to send feedback or just harass us. Why the hell not? ReaperCast@GrimReaperGamers.com. So let me just say, thanks, guys. Gunny, thanks for being on. Man, it's good to have you back on.
Appreciate it.
Straight from
It's
your
nice to be
hardware
back.
store.
Not that much.
Customers got blew
Yeah,
off.
no customers. Yeah.
They got blew off.
Didn't have to go sell any wrenches.
Wait.
What?
Cities.
Oh, yes.
There you go.
We knew that had to happen before the show went out. Jammer, thank you for helping me co-host that one and taking over the Forza segment. You did a great job there. And Jack, again, thanks for being on, helping us keep things going and offering how much you love superhero movies, man. So,
No problem.
all right, let's close this one out because we went a little bit long. For Jack, Jammer, and Gunny, this is Johnny Hustler saying, stay safe, have a good next couple weeks, and don't game alone.